Welcome to the session for Operations Management MMPO 003. Operations Management, this course consists of four blocks. Block 1 is Operations Management and Block 2 is Planning Operations. Block 3 is Managing Operations and Block 4 is Issues in Operations Management. We will be starting with Block 1, that is Operations Management and Overview, which consists of three units. Unit 1 is related to Operations Management and Introduction. Unit 2 is Operations Strategy. Unit 3 is Sustainable Operations. So we will start with Unit 1, that is Operations Management and Introduction. Operations is a fascinating management area that can significantly impact productivity and the quality of our lives. This provides a practical and realistic introduction to the field of operations. Even if you plan on something other than a career in operations, understanding the role of operations in an organization can still benefit you since you will likely work with people in that area. Additionally, this course will show you how operations management affects society and our lives. Now the question is, what is operations management? Production involves step-by-step conversion of one form of material to another through chemical or mechanical processes. That is, creating goods and services. Production management refers to planning, organizing, directing, and controlling the activities of the production function. Production management is the set of interrelated management activities involved in manufacturing certain products. Every organization creates value by converting inputs into outputs, and these outputs are generally of two types of physical goods and services. Activities that produce things are typically relatively visible in manufacturing organizations. They demonstrate the production of physical goods like Tata Motors vehicles or LG's TVs. Production management was formerly considered manufacturing management only. Now, after the inclusion of services into its scope, it is broadly known as operations management. Production implies products, that is manufacturing, whereas operations can apply to products and services. Therefore, operations have replaced the term production. Goods, economic unit that is produced, it is tangible. And if we're talking about service, service is economic activity that is performed, it is intangible. Operations management is the activities that create value in goods and services by transforming input into outputs. What are the examples of production? Manufacturing custom made products like boilers with a specific capacity, constructing flats, some structural fabrication work for selected customers, etc. Second one is manufacturing standardized products like cars, buses, motorcycles, radio, televisions, etc. Now, on the other hand, the example of services are custom made services like medical facilities and clinical tests, arranging food for parties, travel booking services, etc. Standardized service like developing standard computer software, providing standard insurance policies, etc. These are the examples which come under services. Now, what is the nature of operations management? Fundamental tasks in traditional management are planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. Planning serves as the foundation for future operations by creating strategies, objectives, goals, and the rules, procedures, timetables for achieving them. Organizing involves assembling the staff, material, infrastructure, equipment, information, and finance needed to carry out planned tasks. Then comes directing. Directing makes plans a reality by allocating precise tasks and responsibilities to staff members, inspiring them and coordinating their efforts. And finally comes controlling. Controlling is basically monitoring results and taking remedial action if required to ensure that plans are carried out correctly or not. To satisfy what is the need, why these are needed, to satisfy customer demand for high quality product and services, to create employee skill and keep them motivated, to maintain efficient operations, to ensure an adequate return on the investment, and to preserve the environment. For all such things, operations management must be effective. Operations management is an approach that includes a number of essential tasks, such as understanding customer demands, assessing the satisfaction of customer, and using that information for the organization to create new and better products and services that will be promoting the organization's long-term plan. We are integrating data about customers, products and services, operations, staff, supplies, charges, and finance to make an appropriate decision. Leveraging technology. It is to create products, services, manufacturing techniques, and service delivery methods that quickly and adapt to client needs and maximize productivity. It is regularly evolving in response to the organization, to socio-environmental changes, while understanding from employees, competitor companies, and consumers. The primary goal of operations management is to continuously enhance the capacity and performance of the overall business to provide consumers with ever improving values. Now, what is the scope and significance of operations management? The functional knowledge of operations management is distinct from other functional areas of marketing, finance, human resource, information and system, public relations, corporate communications, legal, etc. The more basic learning has originated from it and transcended into further functional areas. Some functional sub-areas have achieved such eminence that they are being explored as full-fledged subjects of study, such as quality management, technology management, project management, purchasing and materials management, productivity management and economics, and safety and environment management. All the managers are involved in planning, organizing, and controlling, but operations managers are directly responsible for getting the job done. Operations managers act as a focal point in the relationship with other functional departments in an organization and take the leadership to produce products or services demanded by the customers. The scope of operations is vast, commencing with selecting the plant's location to deliver the product services to the customers. That means from the level 1 to the last level. The operations management covers such activities such as acquisition of land, constructing a building, procuring and installing machinery, purchasing and storing raw material and converting them into a sellable product, product selection design, process selection and planning, facilities location, facility layout and material handling, and capacity planning. Added to the above are other related topics of operational decisions such as quality management, maintenance management, production planning and control, what we call it as PPC, inventory control, method study, work simplification, maintenance and replacement, cost reduction and power, and other related areas. These all areas come under operations management. Then comes your system view of operations management. Manufacturing facilities producing tangible goods were far removed from the customer, adversely impacting the customer. Orientation of production personnel. Conversion of raw material into finished products and delivering services to transform an unsatisfied customer into a satisfied one has been identified as the vital link in the primary value chain of an enterprise. Operations are often defined as value added transformation process. Inputs, as we are aware of, are in the form of material, machine, labor, management, and capital. They are transformed into outputs, which falls under the category of goods and services. Operations are activities through which people perform organizational transformation, that is, input, process, and the output. In all organizations, operations usually involve a larger share of corporate resources. This does not mean, however, that operations are more important than functions like marketing, human resource management, finance, etc. On the contrary, operations are best viewed as one of the essential functions of any organization and well integrated into other functions of an organization. We can see over here with this a normal picture which depicts systems view of operations management. At the left of your screen, we have inputs, which is in the form of land, labor, capital, information. The process starts, transformation or conversion process is there. It's very acute one. Then we get the output, which is in the form of goods or services, or goods and services. Then we get feedback from the output part. That feedback is given to the transformation conversion process that is in between where the conversion is taking place. And we get two-way response from this where value is added to the process and product. And that finally a feedback is also provided from control to the input section. Production is an organized activity, so every production system has an objective. The system transforms the various input into valuable outputs. The transformation process is performed efficiently and the output is of more excellent value than the sum of the inputs. The system does not operate in isolation from any organizational system. Feedback about the activities exist, which is essential to control and improve system performance. Any action that do not add value are excessive and should be eliminated. Here some of the examples are there which shows how operating system works. If we talk in terms of hospitals, here the input is in the form of patients, nurses, MDs, doctors, medical supplies, and equipment. What conversion is taking place? Conversion is in the form of healthcare, and the output what we get is healthy individual. What is that means? The hospital work is from ill patient to healthy individual. If you talk in terms of restaurant, here the input is in the form of hungry customers, food, chef, servers, and the atmosphere. That is what we call it. Its ambience. Conversion is preparation of food. That is preparation of goods and to serve the food. And the output is in the form of satisfied customers. If you talk in terms of automobile plant, here the input is in the form of raw material, and that raw material can be in the form is in the form of sheet steel, engine parts, tool, equipments, workers, machine, manpower. What they are doing? They are fabrication and assembling of the cars or a motorcycle, and the output is in the form of highly high quality automobiles. And if we talk in terms of university, here the input is high school grades, teachers, books, classrooms, etc. The what conversion is taking place? Transformation of knowledge and skill, and it is being transformed to the learners. And what is the output? It is an educated individual. Why should to study operations management? Well, is one of the four primary functions of an organization, which is integrally related to all the other business functions. One of the critical activities of any organization is operations, which is closely tied to all other daily operations. It is critical to understand how the management activity works, since it affects all companies that advertise, that is selling, finance, that is accounts, and to produce, that is to operate. As a result, we research how individuals organize themselves for a successful business. The practical and efficient utilization of resources is possible at the operations department, as the majority of resources are in the terms of raw material, machinery, equipment, tools, and employees. And these all are in the operations department. The operations department offers a significant opportunity for any organization to improve its productivity and profitability. The operations management function is responsible for a considerable portion of the assets of most organizations, and it is such a costly part of an organization. Nearly half of the employed people over the world have jobs in operations. What is the role of production and operations manager? The operation function consists of all activities directly related to producing goods or providing services. A primary function of the operations manager is to guide the system through decision making. Usually, an operations manager involves two types of organizational decisions. The first one is system design decisions, and the second one is system operation decisions. If we talk about system design decisions, this includes plant capacity, facility location, facility layout, product and service planning, process planning, technology planning, and acquisition and replacement of equipment, etc. These decisions are typically strategic decisions that require long-term resource commitment and to determine system operation parameters. Once a plant is established with a specific capacity, the operations manager performs daily activities to produce the desired product and services. Hence, it involves in various decisions like management of personnel, inventory, management and control, scheduling of the operations, project management, quality control, etc. Operations managers spend more time on system operations decisions than any other decision area, but they still have a vital stake in system design. Operations management is a part of any task. Using operations management concept and techniques, this will help you to accomplish your goals regardless of your functional business area. When you manage financial, human resource, or legal, accounting, operations, environmental, supply chain, services, or marketing activities, you create value for your clients and your company internal customers. Now we see the different operational areas and decision flows. If we talk about process and capacity design, what are the issues what we face over there? What procedures and quantity will be needed for such products? What tools and modern technologies required for these processes? If we talk in terms of design of goods and services, then what goods or services should we offer? How should we design these products? If we talk in terms of quality, how should the quality be described? What is responsible for the quality? What are the parameters, processes which are required to maintain the quality and to achieve the quality? Then comes layout strategy. How should the facility be set up? And how much of the facility does our proposal require? Then comes your location. Where should we locate the facility? What criteria should we use to decide where to put this? Then comes your inventory material requirement, planning, just in time. How much of our components do we have in stock? And when should we reorder? And in supply chain management, should we manufacture or purchase this part? Who can we connect with our e-commerce platform as suppliers? But these are the operational areas where decision role plays a specific part. Understanding the difference of goods and services. You can view, touch, or consume physical items, which is goods, fruits, blossoms, soap, telephones, computers, and industrial equipments are all examples of products. A product is considered durable if it lasts at least for 3 years. Some examples of stable things include furniture, automobiles, and appliances. Non-durable goods typically have a shelf life of fewer than 3 years and are known as perishable goods. Example includes vegetables, toothpaste, and shoes. That means they cannot be used after a particular period of time. Any primary or supplementary support for under 3 years is considered a service. Non-durable goods are perishable and typically last through processes that do not immediately result in physical products. Resorts, law and finance firms, aviation, hospitals, museums, and consulting companies are typical service-based businesses. Services and goods have many things in common. Customers who buy and use them receive value and satisfaction. They can be personalized to a person's need or standardized for a broader market. They are produced and given to clients through a process that combines human labor and technological advancement. Services that do not involve a lot of client interaction, like back office, credit card processing, can be handled in a factory-like style. However, the management of service providing organizations differ from the management of goods producing organizations, and various demands are placed on the operations function due to these very significant differences between commodities and services. Productivity. We had been using the word productivity. The precision with which product or services are produced can be called as production process productivity. The the most common method for calculating productivity is to compare an aggregate output through a single or aggregate output over time. Productivity is an indicator of how quickly someone achieves a task. We can describe it as the pace at which And corporation or nation produces things and services, that is the output, typically assessed based on the quantities of inputs, which is in the form of labor, capital, energy, or other resources utilized to supply those goods and services. Resources must be transformed into goods and services to create new products. Production efficiency creates more value in terms of offering goods and services. The ratio of input, that is resources such as capital and labor, to output, goods or services, is known as productivity. Enhancing, that is improving this output to input ratio, is the responsibility of the operations manager. So, enhancing efficiency entails increasing productivity. There are two approaches to improve this. First one is to decrease inputs while maintaining the output, or to increase output while keeping input constant. Both indicates an increase in production. In a production system, labor, capital, and management are the inputs in an economic sense. The high output does not necessarily translate to increased productivity. It may mean more people are working and high employment levels, that is, low unemployment. Then, how this productivity is measured, that is, productivity measured. Productivity can be measured in a very straightforward manner, such is the case when work hours per ton of a specific type of steels are used to measure productivity. Labor hours are a popular way of quantifying inputs. Other matrices can also be employed, including capital, amount of money invested, materials, a ton of material, and the energy, that is the kilowatt of electricity what we use. Productivity may be used or calculated as units produced divided by input used. If units produced is 2000 and the labor hours used is 500, then the productivity will be 4. However, the above example uses one resource input, that is labor hour, which is known as single factor productivity. Then comes your multi-factor productivity, which considers all inputs and offer a more comprehensive perspective on productivity, which includes labor, capital, material, and energy. Then the total factor productivity is another name of multifactorial productivity. The input units are combined to determine multi-factor productivity. That is, the productivity is the ratio of units produced to a summation of material, labor, capital, miscellaneous plus energy. Managers can assess their performance with the help of productivity measurements. However, the two matrices over outcomes may differ. Measuring only labor will produce inaccurate results if labor productivity increases solely due to capital investment. Multi-factor productivity is generally more efficient but more challenging because all factors are included into it. The multi-factor productivity matrices gives better information on the trade-offs between factors, but significant measurement issue remains. Then what are the different productivity variables? We'll start with labor. A healthier, more educated, and treated better labor will increase labor contribution to production. A shortened work week might be responsible for some of the growth. Historically, an increase in work quality have been credited for around 10% of the annual increase in productivity. Three crucial factors which can increase labor productivity. Number one, a productive workforce requires a certain level of education. Number two, workforce dietary habits. Number three is the social cost of providing sanitation and transportation enables the availability of the labor. Countries, productivity might be reduced by up to 20% due to illiteracy and poor diet. Second one is capital. Capital investment becomes increasingly expensive due to taxes and inflation, raising the cost of capital. We can anticipate a decline in productivity when the amount of money spent per employee falls. Utilizing labor instead of capital may minimize unemployment in the short term, but it also reduces productivity and as a result, wages over the long run. The balance between capital and labor is constantly shifting. The higher the interest rate, the more capital is. Intensive projects that are squeezed out or abandoned because the possible return on investment for a given risk has decreased. Managers modify their investment strategies in response to variations in capital cost. Third one is management. Management is a production element and a resource for the economy to boost productivity. Management must ensure that labor and capital are employed efficiently or effectively. Technology and knowledge uses are essential in post-industrial society. As a result, knowledge societies are another name for post-industrial society. Most of the force has moved from manual labor to skilled and information processing jobs requiring continual education in knowledge societies. Customer benefit packages, what we call it as CBP. It is a properly defined combination of tangible and intangible elements that the customer is aware of, pays for, make use of, or experiences. In simple terms, it is a set of products and services that have been combined in a certain way to add values to clients and satisfy their desire and needs. The complete product offered to the customer comprises a core product and other goods and services. Here we see CBP for students' decision on an educational institute. As far as what is the core and primary services, that is quality education and placement opportunity. But on the other hand, what are the peripheral services? That is tuition reimbursement facility, canteen facility, scholarship opportunity, vehicle parking facility, and medical facilities. These additional goods and services are called peripheral goods and services because they provide value to the main product but are not essential. Examples of peripheral product and services in the cafe industry includes meals for children and providing children's play area inside. Then comes your ethics and social responsibility. Changes and difficulties are constantly present for operations managers. The mechanism they use to transform resources into product and services are intricate. Laws and values changes together with the physical environment and social climate. The opposing viewpoints of various stakeholders, including customers, distributors, suppliers, owners, lenders, and employees, offer several issues due to these changes. Building effective system while figuring out morally and socially acceptable responses is not always straightforward. Efficiently creating and producing high quality, safe products is one of the numerous ethical difficulties operational managers must face. That is, producing safe and well quality products in a more sustainable way, providing a secure work environment, respecting community, community obligations. While meeting the market's need, manager must carry out all of these ethically and social responsibly. Many ethical issues will be resolved if operations managers have normal awareness and concentrate on boosting productivity in a structure where all the stakeholders have a voice. The firm would use fewer resources, the workforces would be dedicated, the market would be content, and the ethical climate will improve. What are the environmental concerns of operations? In our pursuit of the insatiable thrust of getting and begetting, we have damaged our environment to such an extent that we are now facing the grim prospects of ozone layer rupture, the greenhouse effect of carbon dioxide emissions, leading to global warming and suffocating level of atmospheric pollution in populated cities like Delhi and Calcutta. In response to societal concerns about the alarming rise in corruption, most countries in the world have formulated status and legislated on the following types of pollutants. That is solid waste, liquid waste, atmospheric pollution, and noise pollution. The Government of India has also enacted the following laws for hazard waste, that is management and handling, Rule 1989, framed under the Environmental Protection Act 1986 for solid wastes. The Water Prevention and Control Act of 1974 was amended in 1978 and 1988, etc. That is related to liquid wastes. The Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981 relates to air pollution. There is no law at the national level on noise pollution. Local, civic, and police authorities are empowered to ban the use of loudspeakers. Still, the regulatory with which these bans are shunned by religious organizations and for so-called religious festivals in general is very annoying. Now we move to Unit 2, which is operations strategy. In Unit 1, we have understood what about what is the requirement, what is operations management. Now we move on to the second part, that is operations strategy. Organizations constantly struggle to maximize their value creation opportunities and benefits from the same. The profit making potential of an organization is directly related to the competitive advantage it enjoys in the market over its competitors. Therefore, every organization needs to seek an answer to the question, what should the organization do to create a competitive advantage for itself and sustain it for a longer time? This critical question is addressed in developing a strategy, offering some crucial data that aids in aids the firm in gaining a competitive edge. By coordinating all the resources and operations to produce goods and services, companies can have a good chance of success in the market. Strategic decisions have a direct and long-term effect on an organization's performance. The strategy involves more than a single decision related to the environment, resources, customers, markets, etc. So, Strategy is the total pattern of decisions and actions that influence the long-term direction of the business. Strategic decisions enable companies to respond to market demands most efficiently. A successful strategy frequently benefits the company in earnings, a larger market share, and the ability to dominate its industry. Now, what is operation strategy? Operation strategy refers to the combination of strategic decisions and actions related to the role, objectives, and activities of operations performed in an organization to respond to the market requirement. It involves a pattern of crucial decisions of an organization's departments based on inputs in its overall corporate strategy. By this way, it establishes a connection between some aspects of the operation system and the company's strategic goals. Strategic decision includes how much capacity should be added to the system, what kind of manufacturing technologies and processes should be employed, what type of products should be created, and how the supply chain should be set up. These are the activities. It is crucial to recognize the critical indicators of operational excellence when making these selections. This diagram shows the operation strategy. We have operation resources and we have market requirement. We work together, that means we produce strategies or we reconcile strategies in the operational part so that the required output can be provided to the customers. The operation strategy formulation process. A definite set of steps are involved in developing an effective operations plan. The operation strategy formulation process can also be defined in terms of four specific steps. It includes step one is to understand the market's competitive dynamics. Number two, adopting a strategy to maintain a competitive advantage. Number three, establishing the overall company strategy by balancing the strategic options with the organization's resources, limits, values, and goals. And the fourth one is based on the company's strategy, designing the operations strategy. Now we will try to understand what these steps are basically. Step one, that is understanding the market's competitive dynamics. Any strategy making process starts with market analysis and then understanding its characteristics. Market dynamics points the business towards the problem it should consider while developing its operation strategy. It offers essential details about rivals, the type of products and services they offer customers' expectation, gaps between the expectation and the present offerings, and the level of competition. The positioning of Cafe Coffee Day is a comparable illustration in the service industry. Their locations are marketed as cafes that offer affordable luxury and aim to cater to a demographic that includes. Step 2 is determine strategic options for establishing a competitive advantage. An organization may be able to determine the order winning and order qualifying characteristics of the goods and services it provides after conducting a competitive dynamic analysis. The order winning and order qualifying characteristics gives the company various options for maintaining a competitive advantage. Order qualifiers are also called competitive standards because a product not satisfying the absolute minimum quality cannot enter the market competitively. The qualities of a product that makes it more likely for a customer to make a purchase are called order winners. The example of an order winner is image, fast delivery, reliability, and the quality. Step 3 is devise the overall corporate strategy. Organizations might be unable to use all their potential strategies options because they encounter limitations when using the resources. For instance, board members of top management teams could have various preferences and viewpoints to the solution's attractiveness, but they have limitations. The next critical step is to match the strategic options for sustaining the competitive advantage with the available resources and constraints and develop an appropriate strategic plan that fulfills the organization's objectives, considering its strengths and weaknesses. Now we arrive at step number 4, that is, arrive at the operational strategy. Operational strategy is made once the corporate strategy is clear. For instance, if a company's overall corporate strategy is to provide inexpensive goods, then its choices of operational strategy would be aligned with corporate strategy. This company should develop its procurement and supply chain strategy more effectively and identify less cost and high quality suppliers. What are the perspectives an organization operations strategy has? Four perspectives develop from them. Number one, operation strategy is a top-down representation of what the entire team or the company desires to accomplish. Second one, the operation strategy is a bottom-up practice where strategy is built over time by operations improvement. Third one, operations strategy. This encompasses converting market requirement into operational strategy. Fourth one, utilizing the potential of operations resources in targeted market is an essential component of operations strategy. What is top-down strategies? A huge corporation needs a plan to determine whether it should be in the global, economic, political, and social environments. This will include choices regarding the kinds of businesses the group wants to run, the regions of the world it wants to operate, and so on. The list is too long. Such choices help to define the corporation's corporate strategy. Additionally, each corporate division within the group must develop its business strategy that outlines its unique mission and goals. This business strategy directs the company interaction with the clients, markets, and the rivals. For example, a FMCG company corporate body finds out that only a significant market share will give sustainable profit in the long term. So, the company's corporate strategy stress for market share dominance. The consequence of operation strategy changes changing rapidly, mainly through expanding its resources in the form of land, labor, and capital. Then, what is bottom-up strategies? The top-down perspective offers a conventional view on how effective plans must be put together. However, the hierarchy of the strategy stages has a more complicated link between them. This hierarchical model helps think about strategy, but does not always accurately reflect how strategies are created. When? Any business firm reviews its corporate strategy. They consider experience, condition, background, and skills they gain through previous activity. The market influence on performance objectives. The organization's main objective is to satisfy the market requirements without fulfilling the client's need. No firm could survive in long term. However, understanding the market requirements is a part of marketing function, which is also essential for operations function. It is impossible to ensure operations attain the proper priority among its performance objectives without understanding what markets require in the form of quality, speed, dependability, flexibility, and costs. By establishing their five performance goals, organized operations aim to satisfy customers. The business might emphasize its cost performance if, for instance, clients place a high value on inexpensive goods or services. Then comes your order winning and qualifying objectives. A handy way of determining the relative importance of competitive factors is to distinguish between order winning and qualifying factors. Order winning factors are those things that directly and significantly contribute to winning a business. Customers regard them as critical factors for purchasing the products or services. Operational factors are not always treated as primary competitive success factors, but as an essential for customers' considerations of a particular product. Further, improvement of qualifying level provides a more competitive advantage. Less significant elements that are neither order winning nor qualifying can be added to order qualifying and order winning factors. The product service life cycle influence on performance objectives. The behavior of competitors and customers can be generalized by linking the life cycle of businesses, goods, and services. Product and service life cycles can take many forms, but they are typically represented by the sales volume moving through the four stages of introduction: growth, maturity, and decline. This has crucial relevance for operations management because goods and services will lead operations strategies throughout every life cycle. What is the introduction meant by introduction stage? When a good or service is initially introduced, it probably offers something novel in terms of performance or design, and a few companies offer the same. Second one is its growth. It has been introduced, then comes the growth stage. As demand increases, rivals can enter the expanding market. The critical concern for operations may end up being meeting demand. Demand will be kept afloat if products are delivered quickly and consistently. Maturity stage. Demand begins to stabilize. The market may have lost some early rivals, and a few bigger businesses will likely control most of the market. Operations will therefore be required to reduce costs, to preserve profits, enable price reduction, or growth. The last stage is the decline stage. As more rivals leave the market over time, sales will eventually plummet. Although a residual market may exist, price competition will still rule the market unless capacity scarcity occurs. Cost continues to be the primary goal for operations. Effectiveness of operation strategy. An effective operation strategy should clarify the lines between the overall competitive strategy and developing the organization's operations resources. The operations strategy should be appropriate, comprehensive, coherent, credible, and consistent over time. At a broad level, operational strategies must also be ethical, international, creative, and implemented. Different success factors affect the implementation of an operational strategy. That is, top management support, business driven strategy drives technology, change strategies are integrated, invest in people as well as technology, and manage technology as well as people. These are the factors which affect the implementation of an operation strategy. Developing an operation strategy is also a challenging task for companies. Effective utilization of most of an organization's resources is highly complex. Further, operations managers may be geographically dispersed across the globe. Now, we move to Unit 3, that is sustainable operations. The transformation of sustainable business strategy into sustainable operations takes place through an integrated quality and environmental and safety management system. Key elements of this method are performance measurement and ongoing improvement. The sustainable operations include elements such as total quality control, sustainability, environmental stewardship, and process safety. In order to remain competitive, operations and production management must effectively alter their supply chain strategies in response to changing market situations. Due to numerous changes in business and society over the past 20 years, research on sustainable operations management gained momentum. Industries and governments throughout the 90s concentrated on resource productivity and the need to use resources more wisely and consume less of them. The focus on environmentally friendly goods and procedures, the reduction of waste and carbon dioxide emission, and recycling have all reignited interest in environmental performance. These factors encourage companies, service providers, and governments to pursue sustainable operations using the following strategies. And these are to be presented in this, that is triple bottom line, reverse logistics, circular economy, and decarbonization. What is triple bottom line? But we call it as TBL. The concept of triple bottom line reporting has been more popular over the past few years in management, consulting, investing, and business circles. According to TBL paradigm, a company's overall performance should be assessed in terms of its social, ethical, and environmental performance, in addition to its traditional financial bottom line, which is profit maximization. The TBL structure. It considers the social, economic, and environmental facets of performance. This deviates from customary reporting framework since it includes ecological or environmental and social indicators for which it may be difficult to determine the appropriate measurement techniques. A common phrase is 3Ps, which stands for people, which is in the form of social, planet, that is the environment, and the profits, that is the finance. Sustainability depends on the triple bottom line idea. The concept of TBL has been adopted over time as a guiding principle for many important organizations, corporate strategies, and operations. The principle behind TBL is that it requires organizations to be accountable to all stakeholders, including those who are directly impacted by the actions of the other party or stakeholders in the company, as well as to the organizations itself. People, that is, which includes social dimensions. The TBL people component is the first and focuses on how organizations should treat their workers and the communities they have an impact on them in a just and beneficial manner. With this, we will be concluding today's session.